All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday morning on this, what is it, October 7th? Oh my gosh, y'all. Or October 6th. I'm ahead of myself. I am just busting at the seams. So excited about all the things. We've had a phenomenal, exciting week in the life of our little family here in LifeWave. I say little, but we're pretty large. My name is Shannon Weimer. For those of you that don't know me, I've been doing this business about 3 years, and I absolutely love it. It has changed my life. It's changed so many lives. And the best part about what we get to do is we get to see our friends win. And I saw a lot of that this week. So we're going to celebrate a little bit about that. But everything that we do, everything I do in my business is run by the Lord. So we start every one of these calls. We start them all with the Lord because He is the CEO of our business. So I think Tony's on. Are you on, Mr.?
IR,
There you are. Do you want to go ahead and open us up in prayer, please?
Thank you, Mother.
of course.
Thank you.
Good morning, Father. Thank you so much for another opportunity to get together to discuss the things of Lifeway, to discuss the things of the kingdom, to build one another up and encourage one another, Lord. Um, Thank you so much for this business and for allowing each and every one of us to be a manager of our particular branch of this business. You are the vine and we are the branches. And we just thank you for allowing us to be branches in this business, Lord. Lord, we know that this amazing technology is bringing freedom to people around the world and that you divinely downloaded it to David Schmidt and you divinely downloaded the system to Steve and Gina, and we're so grateful to be a part of that system, Lord. And I ask that you help us all to have the wisdom to know how to properly manage this business and to know how to properly manage the divine appointments that you're going to bring us all this week. And Lord, I just pray that we're all looking for those divine appointments at every moment and every opportunity, and that we take full advantage of the opportunities that you put before us, Lord.
Yes,
And
Lord.
thank you so much for the abundance that you've provided every one of us. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We do have an abundance. It is so fun to see everybody win. Thank you so much, Tony, for that beautiful prayer. I believe that the Lord has chosen each one of us for a time such as this to really, really impact so many lives all around, everyone we know. I love hearing all the stories of the divine encounters that people have had throughout the last couple years, months, weeks, days, and then also just what's happening as we grow. So, right? Um, I have to pause and take a minute though to celebrate a few things that happened this past week. I'm sure y'all saw it. If you aren't plugged into the all the different ways that we communicate, whether that's our Facebook group, our Beacons of Hope Facebook group, Abundant Life Wave is Carl and Kathy's group, and then the Telegram chat. I just want to let y'all know that there were a lot of incredible rank ups this past week, and we're gonna really really celebrate tomorrow on the T3 with C3 call, the training teaching call that we do on Tuesday evenings with Carl and Kathy. But it has to be mentioned the exciting things that happened. So Tony, Mr. Tony Carter, ranked up to director, which is such a huge deal. I know you've been working really really hard for that. That is a big deal to get up to director. That means he has two managers underneath him and he's building his team strong. And it's incredible. So we definitely want to celebrate that. Well, Tony, you kicked off a very exciting series of events that continued to domino throughout the week. And I just want to show y'all how the Lord did this. So Tony going director launched the Stampers into senior director, which is a huge deal. Way to go, Stampers. That means they have a director on each side of them now and are building their team. And then Sarah, who is on another side of my downline, she is enrolled by Verity, went executive director, which means she has two directors or more underneath her, but she also has the volume to hit the next rank. And then we had Joe Fazio, who is actually not on necessarily this team, this downline, but he's part of our bigger team that's under Carl and Kathy. He went presidential yesterday, so because his volume hit. So it is just incredible to me to see all of the domino effect of how all of us are helping each other win. It is such a joy of my life to get to see friends win in this business for their health, their wealth. And Saturday we had a great event with Marty and Rochelle. They had an incredible event. It was such a well done event. Um, Lots of people in attendance. I know pretty much everyone that showed up that was a guest enrolled, which means I have a feeling we'll be celebrating some other people really soon. But the point I'm trying to get at with all this is that we don't just try to help ourselves win in this business. We help others succeed. And that is why this is such an incredible business. So, helping each other just do this in a very simple way, keeping it very, very simple and as we grow, we help those, but we only grow by helping those below us grow as well. So it's really, really awesome. So in the spirit, and just congratulations to all of you. It is such a joy of my life to see this happen. I never thought the Lord would. It's just the most incredible thing ever. So um, in the spirit of that, there's a couple different things I want to talk about today. I had originally told some of y'all last week or maybe the week before that I wanted to show you how to dive deep into your team, how to see the depths of your team. And the more you do this, the more people that you enroll, the more you're going to see your team start to grow. And it's really, really exciting because you want to help those that you enroll get their patches paid for, right? And that's by bringing in 4 people at least or more to enroll. But then you also want to help them get to that financial goal that they have, whatever that is. Some people are looking for an extra $200 to $300 a week. Some people are looking, I was looking for to replace my income, right? And it worked. So I kind of want to show you guys, I'm setting this up really quick because I don't want, I was trying to use another account that I normally use, but I realized they don't really have what we need to be able to show that. So I'm just going to go ahead and move some of this over. I'm going to show you guys a report. It's my favorite report in the back office. And we're not going to stay here long because I do want to talk about um, most of this call will be about some of the trainings we've had for the last 3 weeks on our Saturdays, which if you guys didn't get to see them yet, I highly encourage you to go and watch the last three. They've just been fire. Um, it's just so encouraging to see the templates that are being laid out for you to simply just be like Nike and do it, right? To go the extra just to follow a simple system that those that have gone before us have done and brought so much success. But I want to show you guys, so it's loading right now, so and then I'll share my screen here. I'm just trying to make sure names are not on here. I just want to show you guys my favorite report that I use to dig deep in our team, right? How did we know that Sarah was that close to hitting executive director? How did we know that, because executive director, once you hit senior director, which is 2 directors underneath you, one left, one right, once you hit that, all of your volume is what gives you the rank ups next. So I just want to show, I'm not going to show names here, but this is the report that this is underneath organization. You click on enroller team report, and then you can change this. See how you can change it to personally enrolled team, first 3 levels, or full enroller tree. Well, this is really important because as we start to shift after conference, you're going to start to see a shift. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but we do have an enhancement compensation plan coming, which basically means you're going to go from 4 ways of getting paid to 9, which is incredible. They're actually the new enhancement will give the ability for people who are just entering into the business the ability to make more money, which is really the way it should be. So that will increase our retention and so many different things. But I wanted to show you this report I love, and what I utilize the most about this report is once you pull it, this GVU column is usually way over here somewhere. You can just see, you can just click and move these columns around. Isn't that cool? So I'll grab this GVU column from way over here and I'll click and I'll drag it here. And then I click this next paid rank, which is usually about 5 or 6 to the right. And I drag that and I bring it here. And then I click GVU twice, which means that's putting the top GVU at the top. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for who is close to their next paid rank. Look how close these people are to their next paid ranks, whatever they may be. And I'm not going to show it because I don't want people's information out, but look how close people are to their next ranks. Like even here, the reason you click on GVU is because that shows that person has some sort of activity. They're doing something. I loved what the Gets said on Saturday. They said, they're finding the people who are putting you in front of people. They're camping out in front of those people. This is how you're going to find those people in your downline as you enroll them. The people who are that you want to camp out with are the ones that are actively excited, coming to the events, doing the things, and that's going to show in their volume. Right now, I'm not saying if people haven't enrolled people yet and they're still excited, they're engaged, they're coming to the events, they're jumping on the Zooms, they're getting on the trainings, they're calling you, they're excited, they want to know more, they want to learn, they're plugging into the system. Definitely camp out with them too. But this is how you see the numbers. So I really thought this is something that once you start hitting ranks that are volume based, you're really digging deep into your team to find them. This is my favorite report to do that. I've had a couple people ask me recently, but like, I mean, look, there's whoever this person is, they have at least a 5,000 GVU. That means they have quite a few people underneath them that are doing something, but they're not on auto ship. I don't even know who this is, but they're 92% away from their next rank, whatever that is. So I want to help them get there. I'm going to call them and say, "Hey, do you realize you only need this, this, or this to get to your next rank?" So this is your business, right? So I think it's really important to be able to see all that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys really quick because in the spirit of seeing so many people win on this team, um, the Lord's telling me to start digging a little bit deeper. And as people are starting to rank up, who are they bringing in that we need to support also? So does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions about that? Any feedback at all?
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
How much does that change from beginning to end a week?
It can change drastically for some people. GVU means gross volume units. So that's your whole volume. And that's a great point, Verity. Thank you for asking that. So on Monday, you may show that that's a great point. Thank you so much. Monday, you may open your back office and you were a manager like on Sunday, but you might open your back office on Monday and now you're not a manager, or same thing for director. Um, what this is doing is you everything that you do is starts it basically everything shifts or all your period begins and ends at midnight on Sunday, Monday, at midnight. So if you close the week, say as a manager, right, which means you have four active core or above underneath you, two on left, two on right, and then that next week starts, and all of a sudden you're not a manager, that's more than likely because one of them either isn't on auto ship or their auto ship hasn't come out yet. So don't panic. I'm so glad you asked, Verity, because that's a really good point. Or your volume might drop a little bit. And it will, you got the whole week now where every time someone does an auto ship, that's going to tally into your weekly volume, your GVU, to boost you back up. So, like as a presidential director, you have to have 100 GVU underneath you, 100,000. So, in order to have 100,000 GVU underneath me, I have to sometimes, some weeks, you have to wait, like on Monday. Well, that doesn't happen anymore, but it used to. Sometimes my week might not start out as presidential director, but by the time the auto ships come in, my week ends as presidential director. You always get paid for how you end the week, not how you begin it, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question, V? And where the GVU is coming from to answer you, Sarah, is that is your gross volume units. So that's pretty much your first three tiers. So like Verity is a personal of mine. I enrolled her. So her volume goes into my GVU. Her volume comes from Sarah. So Sarah's volume comes into my GVU as well, because Sarah would be, since Verity enrolled Sarah, Sarah is my second generation. And then Sarah's enrolled as the third generation. Um, Third generation comes in, but it's a percentage. So just think of your first two generations. That's how you get your gross volume. Your first two generations, so whoever I've enrolled and whoever they've enrolled comes into my gross volume. There are a few other mechanics behind that, but just that's an easy way to kind of understand that. So, Julie, do you have a question? Oh, you might be accidentally. I'm gonna mute you and just there you go. Awesome. So I just, we don't have to dive super deep into this. I just want you guys to know that this is available for you. And it's really a cool thing. So it's important to know what's going on in your back office because this is your business, right? And if you want to see your friends win, that's a great way to see what they're up to. So I love that. All right. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Um, got a huge download from the Lord the last couple days. How many of y'all listened to the Gets on Saturday for the training? Man, it was fire. I don't even know. It's the last three trainings. I mean, all the trainings are good.
Yeah, I watched it, and then Sam and I watched it again last night. I was like, you
What's
have
it?
to watch this. It's so good.
It's so good, right? I love the Gets. I saw, did you ever talk to Carl and Kathy? Did you get an answer from them? Hillary?
I did not, but Kathy texted me this morning, and then I was responding this morning. I can text her now, but I did not get a response. But I did find Steve and Gina's, and I can put it in here, like the 15-minute one that they did, but it's under the 10-step system under
Yep.
this is at team, and it's like step number 6, and their Zoom is right there.
That's
But yeah, I will find out today if they
You're
did it
incredible.
out.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Hillary, for that. Saturday's training was fire. I love the Gets are really incredible. They had, if I remember correctly, please don't mark me, I might be wrong, but they had around 70 people in Punta Mita when we were there. Back in the earlier in May. Was it May or April? Whenever we went to Punta Mita for that trip that we earned. And they did that by creating an incentive and just really following exactly. They have a 95% success rate at closing. So that's something we need to be focused on and listen to. And I took, the Lord told me, take an average of the last three trainings that we've done and share what they all have in common. I highly, highly encourage you guys to go listen to what the Gets did. They literally give you a step-by-step playbook on how to actually get how they've gotten their 95% success rate on enrolling people. That's an incredible rate. 96% of people get a response from the patches. So that's incredible, right? So one of
And the
the,
interesting thing too, just to mention the Hernandez and then Penny and the Getz, they're all similar in their
yep,
approaches. They're not, and they all have their own take on it. They're all a little bit tailored to their personality and how they do the business, but they're all very similar in their approaches, which I find fascinating.
hmm,
So it's not like they all have totally different strategies.
agreed. It's so incredible. I know V, you and I were just talking about that this morning. It's really at the end of the day, what it is, y'all, is it's a decision to win. It's a mindset. I'm going to read from our book really quick because I love our affirmation book. I can't believe we only have like 3 weeks left, which, well, 3 or 4. So we'll come after Global, but we've been in this affirmation book that Jack Canfield put together. He was our guest speaker last year at the Global Conference. And I love this affirmation. These are things that you tell yourself every morning for that week when you wake up. And it says, I'm affirming to myself, I have all the resources I need in my own mind. I'm tapping into my intuition and achieving a greater level of success. And that's exactly what all these trainings are teaching us to do. They're teaching us that there's no secret sauce. It's literally just doing it. It's all in our head. Like we have everything inside of us. Penny, especially, like she's such a walking, breathing testimony of how simple this can be if you just make the decision. And she was desperate. I mean, she was absolutely desperate to do that. And desperation makes us get out of our comfort zone, right? So I love what he wrote in here. Trusting yourself is another form of trusting your intuition. The more trust you have, the more success you will have also. You don't get credit for what stays in your mind. You get credit for what you write down and actually do. Successful people not only inquire within and trust their intuition, they live in a state of mindfulness. Mindset matters a lot. Mindfulness is a state of active, open, non-judgmental attention on the present, on right now. And that leads me into, I want to share with you guys what I found. I love this because it's totally true. Our mindset is what matters. And the things that I saw from even from Steve and Gina that were saying, because I don't think Steve and Gina were on the Mike Hernandez one, but I know they were on the Penny and the Getz one that just happened this past week. But Steve and Gina were saying the same thing also. So this is not anything new. It's just something, it's so simple. And our pastor this weekend at church, he really brought us back to the ABCs of Christianity. Sometimes we make it so complex and so big. And Verity and I were talking about this morning. We make it really hard, and it doesn't have to be. It's so, so simple. So what do all three of these last Saturday teachings have in common? Well, they have in common that you have to call people in order to make action. You have to pick up the phone. Every single one of those trainings, I went back and listened to them. I listen to things like 2.5 speed when yeah, anyway. But every single one of them said you have to make the calls. And you can't make the calls if you don't have a list. That's why we have the pro tracker sheet, right? You got to make the calls, which is the mindset part of our conversation today. And y'all, I'm talking to me too. I am just as guilty of making a list and not calling everybody. We talk about this all the time. You have to make the calls expecting it, expecting them to know that what you have is going to bless and benefit them. But you got to find out there, you got to find out what aspect. Is it going to be their health, their wealth, and you can even add, or their community, their spiritual side. And we all do this. If I've ever talked to you guys as a new person coming in, you've heard me ask this. What's most important to you? And then don't ask any open-ended questions. Meaning, do you want to do this? Do you want to check this out? Can you watch this? Nope. I noticed every single one of them, they say, the only question that was open-ended that I heard any of them ask, Penny asked, do you want to get your patches paid for? That was what Joe asked her, and she said, absolutely. Well, if they tell you no, well, now you know they're just going to patch. That's okay. Move on to the next one. So, do you want to get your patches paid for? And that's what we ask people. All right. Well, then you got to make your list. We're going to coach you. That's what these are for, or we do one-on-one coaching. We're going to coach you, but we also have a system. How do you see yourself getting started? Exactly. How do you see yourself getting started? That was what one of the things that they asked. But you got to, every single one of them. I literally wrote it. Pick up the phone, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. So I just want to reel us in a little bit, reel myself in really more than anything. I have spent the last year as a presidential director. So I've been a presidential director. In November, it'll be a year. And Gina, about 3 months ago, texted me and said, Shannon, you should be SPD. Why aren't you? And the answer is because I didn't pick up the phone enough. So we can go a little bit of the way. And I hope that this encourages you guys to, do what all these teachings are telling us. Pick up the phone. We have to make the phone calls, get out of our comfort zone, and we have to be consistent. Consistency was a big one. I love Steve and Gina say all the time, and every single one of these, Penny, Mike, and the Getz, they all said, you have to be consistent. Consistency is key. Just do it. So Mike talked about, or I'm sorry, I'll go back to Penny. Penny picked up the phone and she wanted to listen to what people are saying. She listened. Penny's a softer spirit, right? So she's listening to what people are saying, listening to what they need. And then she's saying, okay, do you want to get on a Zoom? Do you want to get on a three-way call? And then boom, they're in. But she's finding out, is this for health or wealth for them? Whether it's on, and she did a lot of stuff on social media, which her kids made fun of her. It was so funny. And Mom, that's not how you do a selfie. But look she's an ESPD. So obviously nobody cared what her selfie looked like. She just did it. She just did the hard stuff. That was so out of her comfort zone for her, but she did it. And then she talked about how it's a numbers game and you just have to duplicate. Mike talked about get him on a Zoom. Same thing. It's a numbers game. Call all the Jose's in your phone, right? And we talked about that. We role played last week about how to do that. And just how do we get them on get them on the phone, get them to a Zoom. Get them on the phone, get them to a Zoom. Hey, do you have time for a 15-minute Zoom? Mike is very urgent. He wants to get it. He's got that sense of urgency. But he's expecting out of the 10 people he calls, he's expecting at least a handful of them or some of them to say yes. Same thing with all of them. And then to just kind of add this up, and then I want to, if you guys want to role play, I want to role play. I got a lot of people asked after last week's call, they asked if we can role play again. So let's do it. But the Gets talked about, again, find the people who are putting you in front of people and they want to camp out there. So if you find people, like I said, if you enroll 10 people and one of them is getting you in front of people all the time, do it. But they talked about how we have our hands on something big. Every single one of them said that. We have our hands on something huge. And then I loved the Gets, similar to Mike Hernandez. Do you have time tonight at 7 p.m. or time tomorrow at 8? And they didn't ask them if they have time to watch a Zoom. They asked them which one works better for you, tonight at 7 or tomorrow at 8. And then they're either getting them on a phone call, they're getting them on a three-way with their upline, or they're getting them on a Zoom, or they're getting belly to belly with them. It's pretty incredible. And then you can go back and listen to how they utilize what Hillary was talking about. Some of these videos. I know Steve and Gina have the video that Hillary dropped, so make sure you guys copy that. Once you're belly to belly with them or ear to ear with them on a phone, that's when you can introduce that. Some people, if they're local, you can get to them. Some people are on Zoom. There are a lot of elite senior presidential directors that have never even hosted a Zoom. They've never done a presentation. They just plug people into what exists. That's incredible. So if that's out of your comfort zone, that's not an excuse. Use what's there, right? So my question to you guys, and what I want to know, you can either put it in the chat or you can unmute and share, and I am willing to role play with you guys any way that you want to. What is your favorite way? What is your way that you're going to use out of these last 3 trainings that we've had? Some of the stuff I just threw at you. What are you going to use to make the calls? Because we have a double bonus for the Bahamas trip that just dropped. You like how I'm throwing it as much as I can? And look at this. This is incredible, y'all. Look at this, came in our email this morning. And Steve and Gina are texting it to everybody. If you personally and sponsor a core, you're getting 4 points. Advanced 8, premium 16 points. That means if you have no points at all, you sponsor 5 premiums and you're going to the Bahamas. That's incredible. That is incredible. So how do we get you guys there? Who wants to share? What's your comfort zone? Or what's out of your comfort zone? How are you going to utilize this to make the calls, to get yourself to the next level, to be the next rank up? I know one of y'all got something to tell me. Come on.
I have a quick question about that. Does that also include upgrades?
No.
Or is it okay, so it's just new enrollments.
Just
Okay.
new enrollments.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I specifically looked at that this morning too, but it's just for new. It's highlighting all the new people that you're bringing in. So what's your commitment, guys? Thank you, Hillary. That was a good question. Who wants to get out of their comfort zone? Nobody want anything being comfortable.
So I'll tell you what I did. I did yesterday. I didn't do it 100% the way they did it, but I've been reaching out, touching base with somebody who's their boyfriend has tinnitus or tinnitus or whatever. So I just kind of dropped, this is incredible technology, and I didn't give them everything over text because I'm trying to dial that back. I'm really bad about wanting to share everything on a phone call or in text. And I just said, look, and she said, well, can you come over and just sit down and talk? And so I went over and talked with them. I don't know what video to share, so I just try to share really briefly kind of what they talk about in the video. a little bit of, just how the technology just got here and what it can do, and just left it very open-ended about, you put your stem cells back into play, and we don't know if it's going to handle what issue, but it's phenomenal. And you just kind of run through things with them. So that was new for me. I don't normally do one-on-one meetings as much anymore. Um, but I need to get back into reaching out to people who are local to me and calling more locals and getting face to face with them. Because it was so much easier to close one on one,
Yeah,
face to face.
it is. And thank you for sharing, Verity. I love that. That's exactly what the gets. That's the reason they have a 95% success rate.
But I felt weird putting a video on. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to handle that, like a video of somebody else and then bringing in my upline.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's been a lot of buzz about that since the call happened Saturday, and I know I've talked to a few of you guys about this, but because our Carl and Kathy, we don't necessarily know if there is one. We don't know of it yet, where they have this video that they can send, right? I haven't created one, but after this call on Saturday, I probably will. I know there are some uplines that have one. So one of the things that the Gets would do is they would go to the home or get on a Zoom, right then play the 12 to 18-minute video, depending on whose it is. I think Stephen Gina's is 15 minutes. Play it with them, and then after ask, what do you think? What are your like go like what does this mean for you? Kind of thing, right? Or if it's your upline, and then if that is your upline, you'll say, hey, let me get you on a three-way with my upline in case you have any questions. And I love what Rochelle brought me in for a meeting. She's like, I'm bringing in the closer, which is kind of funny because we're not really the closer, but those of us that are your uplines or your most active upline, we've done this a little bit. So we're a little more comfortable getting out of the comfort zone, right? And helping people get to their why. So it's good. Go ahead, Tony. What you got?
All right. So after watching the Gets, I've decided that I am going to follow what they're doing. And what I like about them is how they schedule it, and they don't send a video ahead of time. They don't send a Zoom ahead of time. What they do is they schedule a call. They call the person and they go, "Okay, I'm sending you a video right now. Watch it. I'll watch it also, and I'll call you at the end of it, and we'll talk about it after you've watched it." And so they don't stay on the line with them. They have the person watch the video. And then a minute before the end of the video, they have their upline call them, and then they do a three-way call with the person. So I like that. So I think I want to implement that and give that a try, because I mean, they're closing 95%. So
Mhm.
if they're closing 95%, why would I try anything else? I'm going to try that and see if I can make that work.
That's good. Even if you close 75%, that's phenomenal numbers.
Heck, if I close 25%, that's more than I'm closing now.
Oh, exactly.
And I
I
just reached
mean,
out to Kathy and she said that she and Carl have an outdated one and they're going to work on updating theirs this week.
Oh, good.
So
That's
that's great.
incredible.
Hmm.
Thank you, Hillary. Do you want to, I think you and Sarah both said that you wanted to share. What do you want to share?
I don't know that I want to share anything, but I really love how the Gets did this. And Sam and I think we're more united on this. I thought it was awesome. I'm just realizing that I've got to get fear behind me and like bust through that. And I talked to an old friend last night who's known me since I was, since college. And she was like, Hillary, just relax. Don't overthink it. You are awesome. It's just encouragement. I tend to just get in my head. And I think the enemy's really been trying to slow me down and getting me down and all the coulda, woulda, shoulda, just move all that out of the way and just run. And this is awesome because I was getting really discouraged about the cruise. I was like, oh, I really wanted that. Why didn't I work harder for that? And all the things. And seeing that this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is doable. And so yeah, we have a call lined up with Carl and Kathy tonight. And today I just really want to spend time with the Lord and really get a solid plan like a strategy, of like, okay, let's do this. I guess one thing a question I have is how to, like, obviously, like the Getz's goal is to get husband and wife together and get on that evening call or a first thing, in the morning call. But let's say, it's just an old friend of mine, and I guess like I kind of lean towards like, tell me exactly what to do and I will do exactly that. And I don't want to variate, but obviously there has to be variables. Like obviously I could go meet for lunch or I could go do this and that. But, and I don't even know what my question is. I kind of confused myself. Never mind.
You were asking because they talked about getting husband and wife together, and you were calling just some of your friends.
Yeah, yeah. Like today, like obviously I want my day to be very productive, and I may not do that today because if I get them on the phone, I'd love to just maybe just send them the video and be like, "Hey, let's watch this together." And then I guess I could reach out and do the whole upline thing. I think that's really awesome to have the upline. They're going to be joining the call in 15 minutes or whatever. I think working on that and just being, I guess you and Verity or like Carl and Kathy, that's what I want to talk to them tonight about of like, okay, are y'all really like super available? Like, are you open in the evenings? Because I really would like to do this, but I really want that upline support as well. So
Yeah. Well, and to answer your question, I am according to my calendar. So what I have is I have a Calendly calendar for exactly this. So that means you have my link, if you don't have my link, I'll get you my link.
yeah, I don't think I have your link.
And
I know
you
you've sent it
can,
out before, but I don't have it saved. Or maybe we could put it in boards or something. I
yeah,
don't.
I think if it might be in my board, it might not be. I'll have to look and double check. I'm actually gonna make myself a note. And what I do is anytime I have something scheduled or something gets scheduled, it blocks out that time. So yeah, if you have it and you schedule it, that means it's there, it's yours. And I'm in it to win it. I don't have a ton of evenings free, a ton of time in the evenings, but I do have some available. I know Kathy and Carl do, Verity as well. Like we want you guys to win. We want you to succeed. And I've used Carl and Kathy for some of mine to close. You know what I mean? Dr. Elise, the 15-minute video she's talking about is the one that's up. It's in, I think, step 6 of the different step program. But Hillary, thank you for sharing and thank you for being honest and open about it, because I think if we're all being honest, we could all do better at actually doing the phone calls and closing. And I would say the reason why the gets, in my experience, and Sarah, I see you, the experience I have in what I've done in sales, the reason you want the husband and the wife together is for a couple reasons. If you think about, if you wrote down the top 5 things that people say to you as to why they don't want to do this when you've talked to them, just in your head, those are the 5 objections that you're getting constantly. That means something that you're doing or saying or portraying is triggering that. Those are fears that those people you're calling have. So for the gets, I mean, in the past, the reason why I would always want the husband and wife together to make a decision is because a lot of people will use the objection, well, I got to talk to my husband about that, or I got to talk to my wife about that. Oh, we never make a decision outside of each other. You're getting ahead of that objection by saying, I need the two of you together. This is a big deal. This is, word for word. This is, what did they say? We have our hands on something really big. I need the two of you together. So you're getting that objection is gone. They can't throw that at you anymore. And they realize that it's such a big deal that you have them in the same room. So when they commit to being there, they're committed to being there because they know that whatever you're talking to them about has impacted their lives. So that's a little sales tip that we used to use in the outside sales world. Go ahead, Sarah.
I
And
want to
congratulations.
share something about thank you, about the husband and wife, but I'm going to share it after you stop the recording. I can't be on record when I say this, okay? Because
Okay,
these two
okay.
people may end up. So
Okay, okay, we can do
whenever you
that.
do stop, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we can do that. But I definitely, thank you. When we, think about this, I encourage you guys just definitely get the list together and do the hard stuff. We talk all the time. I mean, there's so many different ways you can talk about this. Eating the frog is what Dr. Una says. Who's the scary business person? We did the 100 calls in 5 days challenge a couple weeks ago. And I know Jennifer, I know she had to jump off because she has another meeting at 10:30, but she did it. It was hard. That was the week of the Charlie Kirk thing, and she made the calls anyway. And look, now she's a senior director. So it's a game of numbers. And I don't say this to be cold because at the end of the day, we are changing lives. Like it's not just like insurance policies, right? Where people are just a number. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying if you only call 10 people in a month, your chances of going up aren't very high. And I love what Tony says. He's like, I got all these phone numbers in my phone. I hardly talk to them at all. Why do I care what they think anyway? Like I hardly ever talk to these people. I got all these people to talk to that I've met throughout my life. Why don't I just call them? So I hope this leaves you guys encouraged. Does anybody want to role play how they're going to do this? Or do you guys want to save that for next week? Because we can make next Monday all role playing. I know people get uncomfortable, but nobody? All right. Well, I challenge you guys to if you haven't if you haven't watched what the Gets talked about, let's see. I believe, oh, I had it marked. I believe it starts, oh, I don't even remember the time mark. It
It starts at the 30-minute mark.
There you go, V. Thank you. I was gonna say it's somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes. So 30, yeah. At the 30, at the 30-minute mark is where they start. Because the first half hour, 20 minutes or so, is Steve and Gina talking, going through the presentation. So the training side or teaching. I would start at the 30-minute mark. Not sure if that came through. It's the graphic for the cruise incentive. Nope, I did not see the graphic, Hillary, but
Yeah, I don't think it copied properly.
is that the one I just shared that came from our
I
email?
think.
Yeah,
Well,
it's on. I
I'll text
dropped
it.
it in our Telegram chat, and then it's also on the This Is It team, and I'll drop it in our Facebook page as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really cool how many points. Tony, you're good for Monday? He wants to role play. Let's do it. Not sure if that came through. Yeah. So my recommendation, my encouragement for you guys is I like what Hillary said. Oh, she's gonna just really give herself take that. If you need time to get your mindset wrapped up right, make your list of the 20 scary people that you're gonna call, or the 10 or the 100 or whatever it is, but then call with that urgency. And I will get my Calendly link to all of you guys. If you're not in the Telegram channel, please join or ask somebody who is your upline to join. That's where there's a lot of stuff that goes in that chat. And with us going to global in the next couple in 2 weeks here, that's where a lot of communication is going to be as well. I liked the Signal chat, but a lot of us, when we got new phones, we couldn't get back into the Signal chat, so we shifted to Telegram. So, yeah, it's really an exciting time. I can't wait. I totally know that by the end of this year, this team is going to be so ranked up. And y'all, everything that we do also helps Colleen, my sponsor, get to senior presidential director. She's really, really close. So I would love to see her get to celebrate that before the end of the year also. So we are all helping support each other into the next level of greatness. This is a kingdom business. So I'm going to leave you guys with a scripture, and then I'll pause or stop the recording, and we like to pray and all the different things. Can you share the link? Uh, can you share the training link that you're referring to? Maybe. Let's see. It's on the This Is It. Let's see. Colton. Nope. It was the Gets.
I have it copied. I'll send it to her.
Okay. Share. It's right here. Copy. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. That is it right there. It's if you go to the YouTube, this is it channel. This is it team YouTube. It's one of the top ones, that and Pennies. And you can always type in their name. It's Getz. It's Geotz is how you spell
It's
it.
not easy to find on the YouTube channel anymore. I don't think they have them easy to get to.
Oh, on the computer it's easy. It might not be easy on the phone.
I think Jennifer Stamper put it in the chat. Are you talking about the Saturday training with the Gets?
Yeah, I just dropped it too.
Okay. Yeah, it's there. And then Steve and Gina's opportunity Zoom is right above it.
Awesome. I love this team. Look how we all help each other. It's so good. That's just proof God is in this and he wants us all to succeed. So I'm going to leave y'all with a scripture. This, I just want to paint the picture really quick. This is out of Joshua. It's the beginning of Joshua is where this scripture comes from. And I just want to paint the picture of where Joshua is in this moment. So Moses has passed. Aaron has, they have basically handed the torch to Joshua to take people and to take the Israelites into the promised land. Can you imagine the weight of that? After 40 years of wandering and all the returning to their evil ways and complaining, wanting to go back into slavery. And now Joshua has been appointed the person who is going to lead them into the promised land because Moses can't go. And this is a big deal. I can't even imagine the weight that was on him. But so Joshua starts talking to the Lord, and this is what the Lord tells him. Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I just want to remind you and leave you guys inspired that in every scary thing that we do, every mindset shift that we take, God is with us. So don't let the enemy sit in your corner. He doesn't have a place at your table because what we have our hands on is truly, truly changing the world. And it's changed mine, just my little world right here, so much. So it's a joy to do this with y'all. I hope this leaves you inspired and motivated for this week. Share your progress as you go and partner with your sponsor or your upline, whoever's most active closest to you, and make a plan. Let's get it done because we got 2 weeks before we go to global. And also if you're local, a week from tomorrow, Steve and Gina Merritt will be here on Monday the 13th in Atlanta and on the 14th here in Holly Springs. So love you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will stay on for prayer.